Hi. It's Alvalide from Kansas, and I just want to say to everyone who wished me a happy birthday earlier in the month, I want to say thank you. I know it's late, almost the end of the month now. Uh, Much has happened. So, let's say this began just shortly after the beginning of this month. We had to take my father to the hospital. And we weren't sure what was going on, but he was exhibiting some signs of issue. And that's all I'll say right there. Well, it turns out that he developed an allergy to a medication he's been on for literally decades. It's called lisinopril. And apparently people can develop an allergy to this. News to us. Absolute news to us. On top of that, though, the doctors being thorough and doing their due diligence, determined that he was also suffering from an aspiration pneumonia. So, apparently his esophagus is starting to stiffen, which makes it difficult for him to swallow in his food properly. So some of the food was ending up in his lungs. Luckily, though, the doctors were able to bring him back to a better state of health. Not all the way back, but still a better state of health than when he came in. So, while there, though, of all the things that could happen during one's hospital stay, this one was not on anyone's radar, but it happened. The hospital system that we were at was hacked. Now, we were only familiar with the branches of this particular hospital system within the immediate area of Wichita, Kansas, which is about as close as I am to. And I'm also part of their clinics. So, I mean, I get seen at their clinics. So, middle of his stay, all of the systems go down. They don't have access to patient records. They don't have access to dietary plans. They're just basically caught and stopped. I got calls from canceling appointments that I had scheduled for actually later that particular day when that happened. So what probably would have just been a week and a half stay went closer to about 2 and possibly a few days past that, weeks. So, in the meantime, he's been discharged, but we have decided that we probably need to plan for a better placement for my father. And as he is a veteran, Vietnam War vet, we're hoping to make use of the Veterans Administration, the VA system. Now, we'll say this. Shout out to the VA. For real. You all have been rocking it hard for us in our family. I can't say anything better. I really can't. For any veterans watching this particular video, if you have to be seen at a facility, a civilian facility, there is the VA Community Care Network. And I kid you not when I say they are a blessing in disguise. They have helped me out with so much in regards to my father's health during this time, and even shortly after last year when he had his stroke. So I want to say thank you to the VA Community Care Network for all of your help and assistance. It would have been so much more stressful had you not been part of our experience. But in any case, we are now having to go through our second round of therapy, because unfortunately this has affected my father's ability to chew and digest his food properly. So we're experimenting with diets. And my father, in his early life, did have some culinary experience, and so he is extremely, extremely picky when it comes to his food. Which we all are in that regard. But since his return back to where we were for rehab, I have had the opportunity to visit a few other facilities in the area, kind of in my slight midnight fevering of scrolling on the web. I found a place for mom, and they put me into contact with a few facilities. So I have had 4 tours now. They all offer memory care, which I thought would be kind of what we need, but I might be wrong. Memory care is one of those style of units that's come into being since my once upon a time working as a CNA in the 90s and early 2000s. So it's a journey of discovery and rediscovery, so to speak, because I know much has changed since then, but also a lot has changed since the pandemic that we all unfortunately had to go through. But I want you to know I'm okay. Today I'm taking a day of rest and a day to catch up on things I kind of let slide here at the house, because I was in the hospital literally every single day with my dad during this whole experience. I'm his POA, and so I had to speak on his behalf and advocate for his care. Oh, anyway, I had to stall the video there for a moment. Possible new neighbors moving across the street. But anyway, to continue, like I said, a place for mom. It's definitely a resource, for sure, if you're entering into the years of taking care of your own parents, or I will have to say now that I've turned another year, it's probably a good time to start looking even for myself, as much as I hate to say that. Good to get a feed on things now, because as much as I don't want to, who knows what's going to happen between now and the end of my life, but I've learned a lot on this journey since my dad's been released from the hospital, and since I've been looking at these facilities. There's a lot of things in regards to changes in care, a lot of things in regards to basically how they utilize Medicare and Medicaid in healthcare. One thing that I've discovered is this thing called a Medicaid spin down. So from what I understand, essentially, you end up having to almost drain all of your accounts and dissolve all of your property to the point where you have just at $2,000 or less. And then they can sign you up for Medicaid. And honestly, I'm really not sure how I feel about that. But again, I'm still in the learning process. But I did want to step on here and just kind of say, hey, I'm okay. I'm going to hang tough, tight, and out of sight. It's always been an infrequent channel with me posting, so please bear with me. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.